Let me begin this video with a truth most men never admit. Men don't fear intimacy. They fear the rejection that might come with it. They fear that uncomfortable moment when they take a step forward and she pulls away, goes quiet, or says something that instantly kills the mood. But here's what almost no one tells you. There is a way to move toward intimacy without sounding needy, without adding pressure, and without risking that cold, painful rejection. A way that relies on psychology, not manipulation, not force, but a deep understanding of how women emotionally decide when they're ready and who they feel ready with. And that's exactly what you're about to learn. Now, before we get deep into this, let me hook you in with something almost no one knows. Women don't reject intimacy. Women reject the feeling attached to it. If the emotional experience feels wrong, the answer is no. If it feels right, the answer comes naturally, and the trick you're about to learn makes it feel right. Now let's go deeper. The foundation, understanding, female decision-making. Every man who gets rejected for intimacy usually makes one of these mistakes. He asks too directly, he asks too soon, he asks with nervous energy, or he asks without building emotional tension first. And here's the secret. Women don't decide intimacy logically, they decide emotionally. The moment she feels safe, understood, desired, but not pressured, emotionally aligned, the door opens. So today, I'm going to give you the dark psychology way to ask for intimacy without ever sounding needy, without making her uncomfortable, and without risking that cold rejection. But before we get into the techniques, let me explain something critical about female psychology that most men completely miss. Women experience desire differently than men. For most men, attraction is visual and immediate. You see someone attractive and your body responds instantly. But for women, attraction is layered. It builds, it accumulates through context, emotion, safety, and anticipation. This is why a woman can meet a man, feel nothing, and then 3 weeks later find herself completely drawn to him. It's not that she was playing games, it's that her attraction needed time to develop through emotional experiences. Understanding this changes everything about how you approach intimacy, because if you know that her desire builds through emotional layering, then you stop rushing, you stop pushing, you start creating the conditions where her desire naturally escalates. Let's start with the most powerful principle, the first trick. You never ask directly. Let me repeat this because this alone can change everything for you. You never ask a woman for intimacy directly. Women don't respond to direct proposals, they respond to emotional invitation. And there's a massive difference. Asking directly creates pressure. Pressure creates resistance. Resistance turns into rejection. But when you invite emotionally, subtly, you shift the entire dynamic. She doesn't feel like you're forcing anything. It feels natural. She feels like she is making the decision. And when a woman feels like the decision is hers, she rarely rejects it. Now let me show you how you actually do this. Think about the last time someone tried to sell you something aggressively. The moment you felt pressured, what happened? You pulled back, right? Even if you were interested before, the pressure killed it. And the same principle applies to intimacy. When a man asks directly, "Do you want to come back to my place or should we take this further?" He's creating a transaction. He's making her weigh the decision consciously. And the conscious mind is where doubt lives. But when you create an emotional invitation, you're speaking to her subconscious. You're creating a feeling, not a question. And feelings don't get rejected the same way questions do. The psychology of emotional invitation. Here's the psychology behind the first technique. Give her space to walk into intimacy emotionally. How do you do that? Simple. You create an environment where she feels safe with you, connected to you, and curious about you. Women say yes to intimacy when 3 emotional switches turn on. 1, safety. 2, trust. 3, anticipation. If even one of these isn't active, she holds back. But here's the good part. You don't need to beg for these. You create them. And the next thing I'm about to tell you activates all 3. Listen closely. Safety doesn't mean she needs to know you for years. Safety means she feels like you're not going to judge her, pressure her, or make her feel like she made a mistake. Safety is created through your emotional stability. Trust builds when your words match your actions. When you say you're not trying to rush anything and then you actually don't rush anything, when you respect her boundaries without making her feel bad for having them. Anticipation is the chemical magic. It's the buildup of tension that makes intimacy feel electric instead of mechanical. Anticipation is created through restraint, through suggestion, through the space between what is and what could be. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most men focus entirely on creating attraction and completely ignore these three switches. They try to be impressive, funny, confident, all good things. But they forget that a woman needs to feel safe, trusting, and anticipating before attraction converts into intimacy. The second trick, the soft withdrawal effect. This is one of the smoothest dark psychology methods ever. Here's how it works. Instead of leaning in toward intimacy, you gently lean out. Not in a rude way, not in a cold way, just enough to show you're comfortable with connection, but not demanding it. This does two things. One, it removes pressure instantly. Two, it creates emotional space where she starts leaning in. Women feel safe with the man who doesn't rush intimacy, not because he doesn't want it, but because he respects energy. When she feels you're not trying to get something, she starts moving toward you on her own. Let me give you a real example. You're close to a woman. There's chemistry. Most men would escalate physically, but she might pull back because it feels pressured. Instead, you lean back slightly, pause, look away for a moment, creating space. Suddenly she feels the absence of pressure, and in that absence she notices her own desire. She leans in, she initiates the touch, she closes the distance. That's the soft withdrawal effect. The third trick, the implanted thought shift. Instead of asking for intimacy, you plant a seed. Statements like, "I really like the way our energy feels together." "You're surprisingly easy to be close to." "You have this calmness that makes everything feel natural." These don't pressure. They guide her awareness toward the connection already happening. The fourth trick, let her feel safe in her feminine energy. A woman can't enter feminine softness, trust, or vulnerability if you stay nervous, tense, or overly aggressive. Your job is masculine calm, not force, not neediness, just presence. When you're grounded, she relaxes, and in that relaxation, intimacy happens naturally. The fifth trick, never ask for a yes. Ask for a feeling instead of, "Do you want to?" You say, "Does this feel too fast for you? Do you feel comfortable here with me?" Feelings invite vulnerability. Requests invite decisions. When the focus is feelings, pressure disappears among this, and so does rejection. The sixth trick, mirror her desire back to her. Don't overwhelm her. Don't under-respond. Match her energy. If she touches you, touch her back lightly. If she leans in, you lean in. If she softens, you soften. This alignment creates one subconscious message. We're on the same wavelength. And that makes intimacy feel natural. Final trick. Make it the moment's idea, not your idea. Instead of asking for intimacy, you acknowledge the moment. "This feels really nice. It's crazy how comfortable this feels." You have a really gentle energy right now. You're not pushing. You're letting the moment invite connection. Moments feel real, natural, emotional, and women follow emotion.